To begin the energizing practice, stand at the top of your sticky mat in Tadasana. Fold your palms, engage your thighs, and deepen your breath. Inhale, extend your arms up overhead. Exhale, bend your knees and forward bend. Hands to shins, inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, rebend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up, reach through your elbows. Exhale, release your arms. Again, inhale, reach the arms up, nice and long. Exhale, hinge forward, bend the knees, fold. Hands to shins, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, stretch through the elbows. Exhale, release the arms. 2 more half sun salutations. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Hands to shins, inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, refold, relax the neck. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach through your elbows, lift your ribs. Exhale, release your arms. Last time, inhale, reach the arms up, long through your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, refold, open the back of your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up, reach through your elbows. Exhale, release your arms. Fold the palms together, thumbs to the breastbone. Gaze down, take the base of the big toes together, and bend your knees into Utkatasana. Lower the hips, tuck the tailbone under to lengthen the back, scoop the abdominal muscles in. Continue by lifting the chest and reaching the arms up, shoulder width apart, palms face each other. Take another deep inhalation, reaching through the arms, lowering through the hips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, and lift all the way back up into Utkatasana. 2 breaths here, tailbone under, knees bent, abdominal scooped. 1 more deep inhalation. Exhale, forward fold, standing forward bend. Inhale, lift the chest, look halfway up. Exhale, step the right foot back into a lunge. Inhale, press through your back heel. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. In down dog, use the arms and legs to elongate the spine. Roll your sitting bones up, press the top of the thighs back, and stretch the inner heel bones down to clear the calves. Take 1 more deep inhalation. Exhale, right foot forward between your hands. Inhale, stretch through the back heel. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift your chest. Exhale, refold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, release your arms. Again, inhale, stretch the arms up, engage the thighs. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, focus on lengthening your back. Exhale, left foot back to a lunge. Inhale, press through your back heel. Exhale, right foot back into downward facing dog. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Bring your back heel bone to the ground in line with your right heel. Come all the way up, place your hands on your hips, and prepare for Warrior 2. Turn your hips away from the front thigh. Bend your front knee and align that front knee with the second and third toe. Tuck the tailbone, draw the abdominal muscles in, the chest up, and extend the arms wide apart. As you broaden through the arms and lift your chest, gaze softly over your right fingertips. Challenge yourself to drop the front thigh deeper and engage the back thigh more strongly. Take 1 more inhalation. Then as you exhale, take your right forearm to your right knee, palm up. Extend your top arm over your top ear, palm down, and feel the elongation of your left side body from your left fingertips to your left toes. Continue to stay here if it's challenging enough, or take your right fingers to the floor on the outside of the foot or to a block. Gently press your front knee open, re-elongate your back leg, and turn your chest towards the ceiling. One more deep inhalation, then staying in the pose, exhale, take your left hand to your left hip and straighten your front knee. Transition your bottom hand to your ankle, to your shin, or to a block. Align your chin with your chest, turn the chest open, and extend your top arm towards the ceiling. Lengthen your right buttock and sitting bone towards your back heel. Stretch long through your bottom ribs and waist. Spiral your chest open. Take one more inhalation, feeling the expansiveness of the lungs and the steadiness of the legs. Then exhale, bend your front knee, take your top hand to the floor, and step back into down dog. Resituate your stride so your arms, your spine, and your legs feel elongated and your body feels stable. Relax the neck, let go of unnecessary tension as you create more space through all of your joints. Draw one more inhalation into the legs, then exhale, left foot forward between your hands, pivot and bring your back heel to the ground, place your hands on your hips. Keep your front knee bent so the shin bone's vertical. Turn your pelvis gently away from the front thigh and expand your arms out in Warrior Two. Release the front thigh, turn the thigh a little bit further out, and charge through your back leg. Continue to breathe, drawing up through your waist, through your belly, through your chest. Move into side angle pose by bending the left elbow. Place the left forearm on the left thigh, palm facing up. Stretch the right arm over the right ear, palm down, and elongate the right fingertips away from the outer edge of the right foot. Continue here, or if your body's ready for a deeper challenge, take your left hand to the floor on the outside of the foot, placed onto a block or fingertips on the floor. Lengthen through both sides of your ribs, turn your chest, keep that chin in line with the breastbone, and stretch through the top elbow. Take one more deep, satisfying in-breath, then transition to triangle pose by straightening the front leg, take the hand to the shin bone or keep the hand on a block. Reach the top arm up and expand the arms away from each other, widening the heart, the lungs, and the chest. Tuck the left sitting bone underneath you, elongate the left side of the back, and engage the front thigh. Take one more deep in-breath, feeling long, feeling stable, feeling open. Then exhale, bend the front knee, top hand down, downward facing dog. 2 breaths in down dog. Root down through the base of the index fingers, roll up through the sitting bones, and lengthen your calves by grounding the heels towards the floor. Inhale, rock forward to plank pose. Exhale, knees to the floor, bend the elbows, hug them in, chaturanga. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the thigh, open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. In these sequences, you've been bringing your knees to the sticky mat to practice chaturanga and up dog. As you continue and you strengthen your body, over time you can practice with the legs straight. Take one more inhalation. Exhale, step the left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, press through your back heel. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lengthen your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Completely elongate the body. Exhale, release the arms. Last round. Inhale, extend the arms up, look up. Exhale, fold, drape the thighs. Inhale, extend your spine forward. Walk back into downward facing dog. Take one inhalation in down dog. Then as you exhale, rock forward to plank and lower all the way down to the ground for Cobra pose. Align your fingertips with the center of your chest. Hug the elbows in and anchor your pubic bone down to lengthen your lower back. Press down through the top of the feet, gently down through the hands, and lift the front of your chest, your shoulders, and your head. Keep your head and neck in line with your spine. Keep the elbows hugging in and activate your shoulder blades. Draw them down away from the ears. Press them firmly against your back. Draw one more in-breath. Try and breathe into your back body. Then exhale, slowly lower. Bring the forehead to the floor. Keep the hands where they are. Take one slow, deep breath, inhaling all the way towards the lower back, towards the tailbone. Draw the elbows in. One more round of Cobra pose. Press the fingertips down, scoop the elbows in, draw the shoulder blades down the back, and peel the front body up. Slowly lift the chest. Keep the head in line with the rest of the spine. Lengthen that lower back by tucking the tail. 2 more breaths. Press the fingertips, hug the elbows, pull the chest forward. Then exhale, slowly relower all the way down. Take one more breath. Breathe all the way down into your lower back. Feel the spine elongate. Then as you exhale, press onto all fours and back into downward facing dog. In down dog, combine the activation of the limbs, the length of the spine, and the relaxation of the face and mind. Even though you're working thoroughly, see that the effort is not so intense that you're holding or creating unnecessary tension. Take one more deep in-breath, stretch your thighs back. Exhale, bring your knees all the way down to the floor. Sit back on your heels, torso upright. Good. Take one breath here, let the chest rise and the eyes soften. And then swing your legs to the side. Sit down on your sticky mat and reach your legs forward. Extend your arms forward in front of you so they're parallel to the floor, palms facing each other. Bend your knees, tiptoes to the sticky mat. Gently draw your lower abdominals in, lengthen your waist, keep the upright lift of your chest. Now, lean slightly back on your sitting bones, lift your shins, and with those shins parallel to the floor, feel the engagement of the thighs and the work of the abs. Take one more deep inhalation. Then as you exhale, bring the feet to the floor, hands to the knees. Take a long, slow breath. Eyes soft, one more boat pose, a deep abdominal and thigh strengthener. Lean back, extend the arms forward, and lift the shins so they're parallel to the ground. Feel the firmness of the belly, the firmness of the thighs, then keeping the length of the spine and the lift of the chest. Challenge yourself to extend the legs forward. As you extend the legs, if your lower back collapses or strains, be patient, be persistent, be practical, bend your knees. Take one more in-breath. Then as you exhale, slowly lower the feet, hands to the knees. Take a long, slow breath. To complete this sequence, you'll practice Ardha Matsyendrasana. Slide your left heel in front of your right sitting bone. Align your left knee so that it faces straight forward. Step the right foot to the outside of the left knee and wrap the left arm around the right knee. Right hand behind you, lengthen up. Feel the echo of the abdominal strengtheners that you just did. Gently draw the abs in, elongate up through the waist, and spiral your spine to the right. Walk your right hand a little bit further back in order to help open and turn your chest. Continue to breathe 2 slow, deep cycles of breath, relaxing the eyes and deepening the pose by sliding the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. One more calming in-breath, lifting your chest, drawing your shoulder blades down. Then exhale, release the twist, and switch sides. Slide your right heel in front of your left sitting bone, right thigh faces straight forward, left foot to the outside of the right knee. Wrap your right arm around your left knee, left fingertips behind you. Stretch up through both sides of your ribs. Gently hug the abdominal muscles in to support the spine and to provide an internal lever of rotation. Puff the chest up, draw the shoulder blades down, and gaze towards your left shoulder. Keep your chin parallel to the floor and soften your eyes. 2 more breaths. Gently draw your left hip crease towards the mat and the right side of your back up away from the ground. 1 more calming inhalation. Exhale, release the twist. Sit cross-legged and place your hands on your knees. Though this sequence is brief, it's powerful. Let the eyes fall closed. Observe the sensation of your body. Feel the pulse rate slightly up. Observe the sensation of the breath. Observe it's a little bit more voluminous. Observe the mind state and see that it's clear. Allow your breath to slow down and settle into the sensations of your body. Give your mind and body a few moments to cool and integrate your practice. Then slowly roll down, lie on your back, and extend your legs forward into Shavasana. Rotate the arms, turn the palms so that they're face up, and release the back of the shoulders into the ground. Please stay in this pose at least 3 to 5 minutes. This will give your body, your energy, and your mind enough time to calm, to fall into quietness, and to absorb the benefits of your practice. Hi everyone, I'm Jason. Welcome to my complete beginner's practice. It will be helpful to have a yoga block, belt, and blanket for this sequence. If you don't have these props, you can improvise with household items, like a belt, a book, or a pillow. To begin, sit cross-legged with your right shin in front of your left shin. Interlace your fingers and extend your arms forward. Gaze towards the inner elbows, make sure that the arms are straight, and then elongate your arms up overhead. As you extend upward through the arms, elongate both sides of your ribs, lift the outside of your armpits, and stretch up through the inside of your elbows. Take 1 more slow, deep in-breath, stretching the outer arms up and softening the sides of your neck. Then as you exhale, release the interlace. Take your right elbow on top of your left elbow and intertwine your forearms and hands. If you're unable to make this interlacing of the forearms, simply cross the right elbow on top of the left elbow and take your hands to opposing shoulders. Lift the elbows up to the height of your shoulders. Press your elbows and forearms forward and feel the stretch, the broadening, the release of the upper back and the base of your neck. Now retain this and gently draw the elbows down towards the lower belly. Tuck the chin and round your back body. As you breathe, direct the breath into the upper back, saturating the space between the shoulder blades with breath. With your next inhalation, slowly roll back up to vertical with the torso, gaze forward with relaxed eyes, and switch arms. Take the left elbow on top of the right elbow, intertwine the arms and the hands. Remember, if you aren't able to make the intertwining of the arms, simply place the left elbow on top of the right elbow and clasp your outer shoulders. Now, press the elbows gently forward, lift the elbows up to the height of the shoulders, and take a deep, slow, smooth breath into your upper back. As you exhale, draw your elbows down, gently round your upper back, and feel the broadness of your upper back, the length of the spine, and the circular, smooth rhythm of your breath. Draw 1 more deep inhalation, breathe into the back of the lungs. Then on your next inhalation, slowly roll back up to vertical. Separate the elbows, interlace the fingers, and extend the arms up overhead once again. Relax both sides of your neck, draw the inner borders of your shoulder blades down, and stretch up through the outside of your ribs, up through the outside of your armpits, up through your palms. Take one more inhalation. Then as you exhale, release the arms, interlace your fingers behind you, and extend your arms back so that your elbows are straight. If you're not able to straighten your elbows completely, simply hold the belt hip width apart and extend the arms back. Continuing, draw your shoulder blades down, firm your shoulder blades against your back strongly, and extend your arm bones a little bit higher, reaching them back and up. As you take 2 more breaths, breathe into the chest and feel the tension in the heart, the lungs, the front of the shoulder blades melt away. 1 more deep inhalation into the top of the chest, the front of the lungs. Then as you exhale, release the interlace of your fingers and hold your elbows behind your back. As you hold your elbows behind your back, lift your chest, re-broaden across the front of the collarbones, and encourage your shoulders to draw back. As you continue this and feel the stretch in the inner arm and the front of the shoulders, bring your attention to your chin. Make sure that the chin is parallel to the ground and that the chin isn't poking forward, head right between the shoulders. Take 1 more deep inhalation. Then as you exhale, release your arms. Take your left hand to your right knee. Step your right fingertips behind you. Elongate up through both sides of your waist. Lift your ribs and gently turn your belly, your chest, your shoulders to the right. Direct your inhalation into the left side of the back. And as you inhale, grow a little bit longer. As you exhale, twist the belly, ribs, chest a little bit further. 1 more inhalation, growing long. 1 more exhalation, twisting and wringing out tension in the back. Then release back to center. Walk your hands forward and hinge into a very mild forward bend. Focus on keeping both sides of your waist and your spine long. Feel the sensation of opening in the back of the hips. Feel the sensation of elongation in the front of the spine. And as you breathe, breathe down towards those hips, releasing and unraveling tension from your body. Slowly walk your hands back. Come up to vertical, sitting, and then cross your left shin in front of your right shin. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Place your left fingertips on the floor behind you and elongate up from the pelvis, through the spine, through the chest, through the crown of your head. Now slowly increase your twist by drawing your abdominal muscles in, spiraling your ribs, your chest, your shoulders to the left. Gently gaze towards the left shoulder, keeping the eyes soft, keeping the gaze still. Take 1 more deep inhalation, lengthening up through your spine. 1 more exhalation, rotating deeper. And then slowly unwind, face the front of your mat, and hinge forward from the hips. Walk the hands forward in front of you and spill the torso into your legs. Continuing to breathe slowly, smoothly, and deeply, allow the sensation in the hips to continue to bring the mind and the attention inward to your body. Draw 1 more slow and deep inhalation into your hip joints. Then nice and slowly come all the way up. Pause for a moment and simply observe the overall sensation of your body and the tone of your mind. Now transition into downward facing dog by swinging your legs to the side, walking your hands forward, and stepping back into downward facing dog. For this first round of downward facing dog, look forward towards your hands. Separate your hands shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers widely and align the front of your wrists with the front edge of your sticky mat. Retain that. Relax the neck. Root down through the base of all of your fingers. And then draw the hips and thighs more strongly up and back. As you take 2 more long, slow, deep breaths, feel the elongation of your arms, the elongation of your back, and the stretch of your legs. Take 1 more slow and calming inhalation. Then exhale and walk forward to the top of your mat into a standing forward bend. In your standing forward bend, bend both knees, relax the sides of the neck, relax all the facial muscles, and feel the torso as it cascades over the legs. Take one more inhalation, breathe into your lower back and into your side ribs. Then take your hands to your hips, elongate your spine, and come all the way up to standing vertical. Fold the palms, place the thumbs on the breastbone, and step the feet hip-width apart. For Tadasana, engage your thighs, gently draw up through the front of your hip points, down through the tailbone, and lift your chest. Take one slow, deep inhalation, then one slow, complete exhalation. Moving into half sun salutations. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your knees and fold forward, releasing the neck. Take your hands to the middle of your shins. Inhale, stretch the chest forward, straighten your legs. Exhale, rebend the knees and fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Lift up through the sides of the ribs, stretch through your arms. Exhale, release the arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, lift the back ribs up. Exhale, bend your knees, drape forward over your thighs. Hands to shins, inhale, stretch through your back, look up. Exhale, rebend your knees and fold forward. Inhale, slow and deeply, rise all the way up to standing, lift your chest, gaze towards the fingers. Exhale, release your arms. One more half sun salutation. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, engage your thighs. Exhale, bend your knees, forward bend, release your neck, soften your brow. Inhale, hands to shins, stretch your heart and lungs forward. Exhale, rebend your knees, fold over your thighs. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Extend strongly through your elbows. Exhale, release the arms, fold the palms together, and take a slow breath here in Tadasana. For a full sun salutation, inhale, reach your arms up overhead, engage your thighs. Exhale, fold over your thighs, legs nice and long. Inhale, extend forward through your waist, lift halfway up. Exhale, step your right foot back into a lunge. Front shin vertical, back leg straight. Inhale deeply here. Exhale, step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Take 2 long, slow cycles of breath. Root down through the base of your fingers. Roll up through your sitting bones and stretch back through your heels. Now, rock forward to the top of a push-up into plank pose, shoulders over wrists, arm bones vertical. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels, engage your lower abdominal muscles, firm your thighs. One more inhalation, reach strongly through your arms. Then exhale, draw back into downward facing dog. Take a slow inhalation here. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Inhale, back leg nice and straight. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up. Exhale, fold over your thighs, soften your neck. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing. Reach through your arms and through your fingertips. Exhale, release your arms. Once again, inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold, standing forward bend. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up, firm your thighs. Exhale, left foot back into a lunge. Front shin vertical, back foot far enough back you get a stretch. Inhale. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Take a deep cycle of breath, grounding through the base of the fingers, elongating the arms. Inhale, rock forward to plank pose. Pause for a moment here, feel steady and confident. Then lower your knees to the floor and lower your upper body all the way down to the ground. For locust pose, extend your arms straight back, root down through the top of your feet, anchor your pubic bone, and gently lift the front of the chest, front of the shoulders, and head away from the ground. Lift the back of your hands up and lift the back of your arms towards the ceiling. Take 3 breaths, press through the top of your feet, lengthen your back by anchoring your pubic bone, open the chest for 1 more in-breath. Exhale, take your fingertips underneath the front of your shoulders and draw back onto all fours, then back into downward facing dog. Create a rhythm with your breath and feel the elongation of your spine as your arms and legs reach away from each other. 1 more deep inhalation. Exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, stretch through your back heel. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up, nice and long. Exhale, refold, relax your neck. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Lift through the outer arms, lift your chest. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your chest up, draw your thighs back. Exhale, step the right foot back into a lunge. Inhale, press through your back heel. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Take a deep cycle of breath, relax the face, the eyes, and the jaws. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, bring your knees to the floor, lower your belly and chest to the ground. For Cobra pose, align your fingertips with the middle of your chest, hug your elbows in, and engage your shoulder blades to lift your chest a few inches away from the ground. Keep the back of the neck long, keep the chin slightly tucked. 2 more cycles of breath, anchor down through the top of your feet. Lengthen your lower back by affirming your pubic bone into the ground. 1 more inhalation, now partially straighten the elbows. Exhale, re-lower to the floor. Press to all fours, press back into downward facing dog. Take 2 slow, deep cycles of breath and feel how downward facing dog elongates the spine and stretches the limbs. Take 1 more deep inhalation. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Inhale, firm your back thigh. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lengthen through your waist, lift your chest. Exhale, refold over your legs, soften your neck. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing. Reach up through your elbows. Exhale, release your arms. Last sun salutation. Inhale, extend your arms up overhead, firm your thighs. Exhale, hinge forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, stretch the chest forward. Exhale, left foot back into a lunge. Inhale, firm your back leg. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. In a moment, we're going to do chaturanga and up dog. And if these prove too difficult or inaccessible for your body, simply repeat the earlier version of the pose by doing Cobra pose. Inhale, rock forward to plank pose. Exhale, bring your knees to the floor. Bend your elbows and lower halfway to the ground. Pause. Hug your elbows in, draw your shoulder blades down your back, and then inhale, straighten your arms, lift your knees up into upward facing dog. On the exhale, draw back into down dog. In downward facing dog, root down through your fingers, relax your neck, and let your forehead muscles relax. Take another slow and calming inhalation. Exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, press through your back heel. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, elongate through your waist. Exhale, forward bend, letting go. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Stretch up through your arms. Exhale, release the arms. Fold your palms together and pause in Tadasana, feeling the sensation of your body, feeling the sensation of your breath. To begin Warrior Two, separate your feet wide apart, place your hands on your hips, and turn your right foot out. Align both of your heels, and then bend your front knee so the shin is vertical, knee directly over the center of the ankle joint. Find the intensity that's appropriate for your body by feeling the stretch in the inner thighs, and if you want more intensity, a deeper stretch, step your back foot further away from your front foot. Now, lift up on the front of your hip points, lengthen down through your tailbone, and gently draw back through your lower abdominal muscles. Continuing, lift your chest up and extend your arms wide apart. Gently turn your neck and gaze with soft, relaxed, receptive eyes towards your right fingertips. Elongate through your back leg. Make sure your front knee is turned just slightly out so the kneecaps facing straight forward. 2 more cycles of breath. Lengthen up through your waist. Extend the back of your arms, reach through your ring fingers. Then on your exhale, straighten your front leg. Place your hands on your hips and turn your feet parallel. Turn your left foot out. Turn your back foot slightly in and align your heel bones. Bend your front knee till the front shin is vertical, and then find the stride that's right for you by either stepping the back foot further away for more intensity or shortening the space between your feet for less. Now, lift your hip points up, tuck your tailbone, and gently engage your abdominal muscles. Lift your chest up and broaden it out. Extend your arms wide apart. Align the upper arms so that they feel integrated and connected with each other. Take the arms so that they're parallel to the horizon and gaze over your left fingertips. Feel the steadiness, the strength, the intensity of the body, but keep soft and composed in your eyes. Take 1 more deep inhalation. Then exhale, straighten your front leg. Place your hands on your hips and turn your feet parallel. For side angle pose, turn your right foot out. Keep your heel bones aligned. Bend your front knee till the shin bone is vertical. Place your right forearm on your right thigh, palm face up. Now just for a moment, gaze towards your back leg. Elongate through the back thigh, spread the back toes, and now gazing forward, reach your top arm overhead, palm facing down. As you continue to breathe, sense the connection between the left arm, the left ribs, the left hip, and the left thigh. Now, if the pose feels fairly intense, stay as is for 3 more breaths. If it's moderate, take your right hand to the outside of the right foot, fingertips to the floor, or hand to a brick. As you take 1 more long cycle of breath, stretch the left arm and the left foot away from each other. Take your left hand to your left hip, root through your back big toe, inhale, come all the way up to standing. Hands to hips, feet parallel, left foot out, right foot slightly in. Bend your front knee so the shin bone is vertical, and rest your left forearm on your left thigh, palm up. Turn your chin so that your chin is in line with your breastbone, and extend your top arm over your top ear, palm down. Take a cycle of breath here. Elongate through your back leg, lengthen both sides of your rib cage, and reach the top arm more strongly. If this degree of intensity is fine for your body, stay as is, circulate your breath. For those of you with a little bit more play in the body, take the left hand to the outside of the left foot, fingertips to the floor, hand to a brick. Gently open the front knee out, roll your chest up, and extend strongly through your back thigh. Now take your right hand to your right hip, press through your back foot, inhale, come all the way up to standing. Turn your feet parallel, hands to hips, take a breath, and feel your body. Continuing to triangle pose, turn your right foot out, turn your back foot slightly in, and align your heels. With your hands still on your hips, engage your back thigh and rock your right hip so that your right hip starts to come towards your right thigh. As you hinge at the hip joint rather than the waistline. Both sides of your back are evenly elongated. Then right hand to your shin towards the ankle, or your hand to a block. Now, rotate your chest up, align your chin with your breastbone, and reach your top arm towards the ceiling. Feel the spaciousness of the spine, feel the broadness of your chest, and feel the reach of your limbs. Continue to breathe and feel the expansive nature of the pose and the expansive nature of your body. Take one more deep inhalation, reach through all four limbs with the same degree of intensity. Then take your left hand to your left hip, press down through your back foot. Inhale, come up to standing, hands on hips, feet parallel, pause. Turn your left foot out, turn your right foot slightly in, rock your left hip towards your left thigh, and feel the hinging at the hip joint. Both sides of your ribs are evenly elongated, so the left side of your back is not going to get compressed. Left hand down to the shin towards the ankle, or hand to a block. Continue to breathe. Gently draw the abdominal muscles in. Roll your chest more towards the ceiling, and extend your top arm straight up. Feel the elongation through both legs, the elongation through both sides of the waist, and the reach through your arms. Draw one more deep inhalation. Feel the balanced work throughout your entire body. Then place your right hand to your right hip. Root down through your back foot. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Turn your feet parallel. And then very slowly, step your feet hip width apart. Keep your hands placed on your hips. Inhale, firm your thighs, lengthen your spine and lift your chest. Then exhale, rock forward from your hips. Slide your hands down your shins, and then take your hands to the floor or to the ankles or to the feet. As you continue to breathe, sense your back body. If your lower back is at all uncomfortable, if you have a history of lower back problems, simply bend the knees and ensure that the spine feels long and decompressed. Relax the neck, relax the face, elongate the back of those legs to their maximum, but without strain. Remember, we want to coax the body into releasing, not force it. Take your hands to your hips, reach down strongly through your feet. Inhale, come up to standing, spine stays long. For Warrior One, place your hands on your hips and separate your feet wide apart. Turn your right foot out, turn your back foot in. In this pose, the back foot turns in at a stronger angle, about 45 degrees. Glance at that back foot, turn the ball of the foot in just a touch more. Now, rotate your hips forward, lengthen your tailbone towards your heels, and lift up through the front of your hip points. Retain that, bend your front knee so the front shin is vertical, and then judge the intensity in the thighs. You want a strong challenge, but it should be sustainable and non-straining. If you want more intensity, step the back foot further back. If you want less intensity, step in. Lift your chest up, elongate through your spine, and extend your arms up, shoulder width apart. Continue to breathe slowly, smoothly, and deeply, and refine the pose by reaching strongly through your back thigh, rotating your back hip slightly forward, and drawing up through your midline. Take one more inhalation, arms up, inner borders of the shoulder blades draw down. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Take your hands to your hips and turn your feet parallel. Turn your left foot out, turn your right foot in. Back foot, right foot turns in 45 degrees. Rotate your hips, tuck your tailbone, and draw up through your hip points, your belly, and your chest. Bend your front knee, front shin vertical. Take a moment to find the stride that's challenging but non-straining. Reach your arms up overhead, arms shoulder width apart. Rotate the arms so that the palms face each other. Continue to breathe all the way down into your bottom ribs, all the way down into your side ribs. Take one more inhalation. Exhale, straighten your front leg, hands to hips, feet parallel. Turn your right foot out, turn your back foot in 45 degrees once again. Rotate your hips towards the front of the mat and elongate down through your back leg. Proceeding to revolved triangle pose, extend your left arm up overhead, and for a moment feel the connection of your left arm, your left ribs, your left leg, and your left foot. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale, hinge forward through your pelvis, and place your left hand on a block placed inside the right foot. If you don't have a block, you can take the right hand to the shin, but that bottom arm has to play a supportive function. Continuing, lengthen through the left side of your back, gently squeeze your right hip in towards your left hip, and turn your belly, ribs, and chest to the right. This is a challenging pose. Soften the jaws, soften the eyes, and deepen your breath. Extend your top arm up towards the ceiling, and elongate both arms away from each other. Take one more inhalation, hugging the top of your thighs in as if they're squeezing the midline. Then exhale, release the twist. Press your back foot. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Turn your feet parallel. Turn your left foot out, turn the ball of the back foot in. Continuing to breathe, reach your right arm up overhead. Sense the connection of right fingertips to right heel. Then on an exhalation, hinge forward at the hips, right hand down to a support, hand to a block or hand to the shin. Elongate both sides of your back, squeeze your left hip in, turn the belly, ribs, and chest to your left. Continuing to breathe, stretch the top arm up towards the ceiling and broaden your chest. Make sure that the neck isn't over-rotated and the chin is still in line with your breastbone. Take one more in-breath, hugging those hips in, reaching those arms out. Exhale, release your top arm. Press your back foot. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Turn your feet parallel. Place your hands on your hips and step your feet hip-width apart once again. Inhale, reach down through your feet, lift up through your chest. Exhale, hinge forward from the hip joints, standing forward bend. As you release the arms, take them to your shins, your ankles, your feet, or the floor. It doesn't matter how flexible your body is, but be sure to support it adequately. So don't allow the arms to simply hang in free space if the hands don't come down. Take the hands to the shin so that you can relax more deeply. Now, take your hands back to your hips. Press through your feet, keeping your spine long. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Pause for a moment. Bend your right knee. Take your right hand to your right shin and draw the right foot to the inside of your left thigh for a tree pose. This is a challenging balance, so it's going to test your patience as well as it's going to test your skill in your body. Take your hands to your hips. Align your hip points by bringing your right hip slightly forward, and then strongly squeeze your standing leg and your lifted foot together. Place the palms together, thumbs on the breastbone. Draw the chest up. Firm your shoulder blades against your back, and now extend the arms up overhead. Inevitably, as you practice balancing, you're going to interface with imbalance. You might wiggle, you might wave, you might fall over, but make sure that the breath stays steady and the eyes stay focused. One more deep inhalation, gently drawing your right knee back. Then exhale, place your hands on your hips. Release your right foot and take a breath before switching sides. Bend your left knee, Hold on to your left shin and draw the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Place your hands on your hips and get a firm squeeze of your standing leg and your lifted foot together. Now fold the palms together, thumbs to the breastbone. Gently lift up through the chest, firm the shoulder blades, and extend your arms overhead. If reaching the arms overhead makes the pose too difficult, take the hands back to the hips. Know also that you can always practice this pose by using a wall. Don't let frustration take over. Take one more deep inhalation. Encourage your left knee to draw back. Then as you exhale, take your hands to your hips. Release the left foot and turn your feet so that they're parallel. For one more standing balance, we'll take half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Separate your feet wide apart, place your hands on your hips, and turn your right foot out. Bend your front knee, and just for a moment, place your right forearm on your right thigh, palm up. Now, shorten your distance between your feet by stepping your back foot towards your front foot. Shift your right hand forward onto a block, and then shift that block 6 to 12 inches forward just to the outside and in front of the right foot. Lean forward and simultaneously straighten your standing leg and lift your left thigh. Roll the left hip slightly towards the ceiling, turn the belly, turn the ribs, turn the chest, but continue to gaze straight down at the floor at an unmoving focal point. Feel the nuance of balance. Elongate your standing leg further, reach through the top heel, and now if you feel relatively secure in your standing pose, extend your top arm up towards the ceiling. Take one more deep inhalation, feeling the expansiveness of the pose as you reach through your limbs. Then left hand to left hip, bend your front knee, and slowly bring the left foot down to the floor. Inhale, come up to standing. Turn your feet parallel, hands stay on hips. Turn your left foot out, turn your right foot slightly in, heels aligned. Bend your front knee, place your left forearm on your left thigh, palm up. Step your back foot in towards your front foot. Transition into half moon pose by placing your left hand onto a block, shifting it 6 to 12 inches forward, and leaning forward. Simultaneously lift your right thigh and straighten your standing leg. Firm both thighs, rotate the right hip towards the ceiling, turn the belly, turn the ribs, turn the chest open. Even if the body wavers, keep the eyes still, keep the breath smooth and consistent. Continuing, extend your top arm towards the ceiling, turn the palm in the same direction as your chest. Take one more in-breath, expanding through all your limbs. Then exhale, right hand to right hip. Bend your front knee, bring your back foot down. Press down through your back foot. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, and turn your feet parallel. Place the hands on the hips. Keep the feet separated wide apart. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, rock your pelvis forward over your thighs and release your hands down to the floor underneath your shoulders or to blocks. For a wide-legged standing forward bend, inhale, re-lengthen through your waist, draw your chest forward. Then exhale, release into your forward bend by hinging more deeply and walking your hands back so that the heels of the hands are in the same plane as your feet. If possible, heels of the hands in the same plane as the heels of your feet. Now, many bodies won't be open enough to make this movement just yet. That's no problem. Simply keep your hands on blocks and your arms straight underneath your shoulders. Practice where you are and continue to breathe into any resistance that's present. Relax the neck, invigorate the legs, and slightly engage the abdominal muscles. Take another cycle of breath and feel the combination of effort through the legs, but release and surrender through the waist, through the spine, through the neck, through the face. Then if you walked your hands back, walk your hands forward, re-lengthen through your spine, hands under your shoulders, bend your knees slightly, place your hands on your hips, Inhale, come all the way up to standing, keeping your back long. Step your feet together and step to the top of your sticky mat. Fold your palms, engage your thighs, and feel your body. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward bend, exhaling completely and letting go. Inhale, lengthen and lift your spine. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Just walk your feet back on your mat, downward facing dog. Take 3 cycles of breath. Feel the balanced effort through your body. The arms are reaching, the legs are drawing back, the spine's lengthening, and you're regulating your breath by breathing through your nose. Feel the activation of those limbs, the length of the spine, but soften the brow, soften the tongue, soften the mind. Bring your knees to the floor and transition into child's pose by releasing your sitting bones towards your heels, dropping your forearms to the ground, and letting your forehead rest on the floor. Take a moment, feel the sensation of your body, feel the sensation of your breath, and observe your mind state. Then, rock forward onto all fours and lower all the way down to the ground for a backbending series. Extend your arms straight back, reach your fingertips towards your toes, and rotate your arms so that the thumbs touch the ground. Now, press the top of the feet down, lengthen your lower back by anchoring your pubic bone into the floor, and slowly lift the front of your chest, slowly lift the front of your shoulders, and slowly lift your arms up. Continuing in locust pose, focus on your lower back, your mid back, and your upper back. Ideally, these 3 regions have the same degree of intensity. If one part of your back is overworking and one part of your back is underworking, you need to back off and pause. Continue to breathe. Engage the shoulder blades a little bit more strongly to lift the back of the arms. Take one more deep breath down into your ribs. Then as you exhale, slowly release. Cross your forearms in front of you and rest your forehead on them. Now take a slow, saturating breath down into your lower back, down into your floating ribs, down into your pelvis. Feel as you inhale how the spine elongates, and as you exhale how the spine deepens its natural curves. Continuing to Cobra pose, take your fingertips in line with your chest, fingers facing forward. Before lifting up, get the fundamental actions of the posture. Press down through the top of your feet, tuck the tailbone, and hug your elbows in. Now slowly, lift the chest without yet using the arms. Feel your back body engage as it strengthens by lifting your torso up against gravity. Hug the elbows in a little bit more deeply, and then increase the intensity of the pose by pressing the hands into the floor and partially straightening the elbows. Make sure that the integrity and the postural alignment of the body is sound. Hug the elbows in, draw the shoulder blades down, draw the chest forward. Take one more breath, relax your temples and forehead, and then exhale, slowly lower all the way down, cross your forearms, rest your forehead. Take one more long soaking breath into your back. Then exhale, hands underneath the front of the armpits. Press back onto all fours and stretch back into downward facing dog. As you elongate through the arms, pressing the sticky mat down into the ground, and draw your thigh bones up and back, feel the spine elongate. As you create this sense of spaciousness in your back, relax your neck, soften your temples, and breathe deeply. Take one more inhalation, appreciating the decompression of your back. Then exhale, bring your knees to the floor, sit back on your heels, torso is upright. Now, swing your legs to the side and transition onto your back, knees bent, bottom of the feet to the sticky mat. Place your feet hip width apart and walk your heels close to your hips but not quite touching. Now, elongate your arms along your sides and hold the sides of your sticky mat. Gently press down through the lower back, curl the tailbone just a touch off the ground, and then proceed by lengthening the tailbone higher, lifting the hips higher, rolling the lower back, then the middle back, then the upper back away from the floor. Tuck each arm under the chest, root down through the back of the arms, and then continue to hold the sides of the sticky mat or interlace your fingers together, straighten the elbows, and press down through your outer arms. Make sure that the lower back isn't taking the brunt of the pose and that the sensation of the back bend are distributed. To facilitate this, lengthen the tailbone towards the back of the knees more completely, root down through the back of the arms, lift your chest. Take one more inhalation, encouraging your chest and front ribs to expand. Then exhale, slowly lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back, hips to the floor. Place your hands on your hip points and take a slow, calming cycle of breath. Then transitioning into reclined leg stretch, grab your belt, straighten your left leg forward, heel on the ground, and draw your right knee into your chest. Loop the right arch, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling, and make sure that you use enough slack in the belt that you can completely straighten your top knee. Hold each side of the belt with one hand, draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears, and find a degree of intensity in the top leg that's challenging, but that ultimately you can relax into, breathe into, and surrender with. Continuing to circulate that breath, elongate through your bottom leg, spread your left toes, and spiral your left thigh in. Create a little bit more length through the top leg, spreading those toes, opening the hamstrings, lengthening the calves. Continue to meet this challenge of stretching your hamstrings with softness in your jaw and relaxation in your eyes. As you exhale, release that side and switch. Extend your right leg straight forward and hug your left knee into your chest. Lasso the left arch with the belt. Use enough belt that you can completely straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Now, gently rock your hip points forward towards your thighs until your lower back is in a very mild arch, enough that you can slide a fingertip underneath it. In fact, you can even try that for a moment. If the lower back is pressing the floor too firmly, the lower back's over-rounding, and that top leg isn't getting as much opening as it would otherwise. Continuing to breathe, elongate through the bottom thigh and spiral it inward. Draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears, soften your temples, soften your jaw, relax your eyes. Take one more slow, calming, quieting breath. Then as you exhale, release both legs, bend the knees, and take the bottom of your feet to the sticky mat. Slowly roll over to your right side, roll into your hands, and use your arms to press you up to sitting. Face the front edge of your sticky mat and transition into bound angle pose by bringing the bottom of your feet together, releasing your knees away from each other, and placing your fingertips on the floor behind you. Continuing, elongate down through the arms, pressing the fingertips into the floor. Lift up through the waist, lift up through the chest, and take a deep breath down into the lower belly. Bring the inside of the thighs together. Take the tips of the toes to the floor, and then extend the arms straight forward so that they're parallel to the floor. You will now practice 3 variations of Navasana. Prepare by gently engaging the abdominal muscles, hugging the navel towards the spine, and extending strongly through the arms. Relax the temples, lean slightly back so you're just behind your sitting bones, and lift your shins till they're parallel to the ground. Draw the knees towards the chest, lift the chest towards the knees, and spread the toes. Take another cycle of breath, feel the challenge in the lower and mid body, but let go of tension from the mind, let go of tension from the mouth. As you exhale, bring the bottom of the feet together, outer edges of the feet to the floor, and hold on to your ankles. Holding onto your ankles, lean back slightly till the arms are straight, the chest is lifted. Now, take your fingertips behind you, hands 6 inches back behind the pelvis, and rotate the hands so the fingertips face forward, palms flat on the mat. Press down through the arms, lengthen through the lower back, lift the chest, then lift your shins up till they're parallel to the ground. Root down through the arms, bend the elbows slightly, and squeeze the elbows towards each other behind you. Puff the chest higher, widen the collarbones, the heart, the lungs. Continue to breathe. Gaze softly beyond the tip of the toes. Take one more in-breath and reach the legs a little bit longer, making the knees slightly straight. Then as you exhale, fold back into bound angle pose, bottom of the feet together, fingertips stay behind you. Press the fingers down, lengthen the waistline up, and broaden your chest. Relax your face and take one more deep breath before transitioning to the final version of the pose. Draw the knees together, tips of the toes to the floor, extend the arms forward. With the arms parallel to the ground, hug the abdominal muscles in, lift the chest up, and lift the shins so they're parallel to the ground. Now, it's essential that the spine stays long and the chest stays lifted. Retain those two elements, and then as well as you can without strain, extend through your knees, reaching the legs up, taking the tips of the toes and the eyes in the same plane. Take 2 more cycles of breath. Be patient, be persistent. The pose will come over time. Bring the bottom of the feet together. Bring the outside of the feet to the floor. Hold the ankles. Lean slightly back, keeping your spine long, and take a deep breath. For Ardha Matsyendrasana, slide your left heel in front of your right sitting bone and align your left thigh so that it faces forward. Now, step your right foot to the outside of the left knee, wrap your left arm around your right knee, and root your right fingertips into the floor behind you to support the length of your spine. Remember, in all twists, the length of the spine is as important as the rotation of the spine. So draw up through the left side of your back, draw up through your abdominal muscles, up through the chest, and then deepen the pose by turning your ribs and your collarbones to the right. Slide the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and using very, very moderate leverage, press the elbow into the knee to facilitate the rotation. Observe that as you twist, it's a little bit more difficult to breathe. The diaphragm is partially restricted. So bring the breath into the chest, and even though the breath may be slightly shorter, make sure it's smooth. Take 2 more smooth breaths. Keep lengthening up through the left side of your back, and very gently gaze towards your right shoulder. Take 1 more inhalation, filling up and lengthening. Then exhale, unravel, and release, facing forward. Switch sides. Slide the right heel in front of the left sitting bone. Align the right thigh so it faces forward. Step the left foot to the outside of the right knee and wrap your right arm around your left knee. Slide your left fingertips to the floor, root them down, and lift your back up. Continuing to deepen the twist, slide the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Draw gently in and up through the abdominal muscles. Lift your chest strongly and turn your collarbones to the left. Draw the shoulder blades gently down the ears. Align the skull directly between the shoulders, chin parallel to the ground, and turn the neck to gaze towards the left shoulder. Take 1 more in-breath, filling your chest. Then exhale, release back to center. and bring the bottom of your feet together. Proceeding to a forward bend, Janu Sukhasana, extend your right leg forward in front of you and place the left foot to the inside of the right thigh towards the groin. Take the right hand 6 inches to the outside of the right hip, press the floor with that hand, hinge forward from the hips, and then take your left hand to the right foot or grab your belt and lasso your arch. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine, lift the chest, maximize your length. Exhale, fold a little bit more deeply and walk your right hand forward to the right foot, or with the right hand hold the belt. As you continue to breathe slowly and smoothly, emphasize the elongation of your back, emphasize the depth of your breath, and emphasize the quality of letting go of tension. If your body has a little bit less flexibility, don't worry about coming forward. Focus on lengthening upright through the spine and creating space. Those of you that have a little bit more depth in the forward bend, turn the ribs to the right, turn the chest a little bit further towards the right shin, and elongate forward through the crown and through the spine. Take one more deep breath into your bottom ribs, and then to release the pose, walk the hands back, keep your spine long, and inhale, come up to sitting vertically. Bring the bottom of your right foot against the bottom of your left foot. Extend your left leg straight forward and place the right foot to the inner border of the left thigh as close to the groin as possible. Place your left hand 6 inches to the left of your left hip for support. Inhale, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, hinge forward with your hips. Take your right hand to the left foot or grab a belt. Inhale, re-lengthen. Draw up from the pubic bone to the top of your chest, spine's long. Exhale, deepen the fold by mildly arcing in. Continue to breathe, walk the left hand forward. Left hand's going to hold your belt or it's going to catch your foot. For those of you with less flexibility in the hamstrings, continue to draw up through the trunk, lengthen the waistline forward, and relax your neck. Remember, if this pose is difficult, you can always sit on the front edge of a folded blanket. Take one more deep breath, breathe into those bottom ribs, and then walk your hands back. Inhaling, rise back up. Bring the bottom of your feet together once again. Extend your legs wide apart. Press down through your fingertips and begin the first phase of Konasana by simply grounding down through your thighs, reaching out through your heels, and elongating up through your waist, your back, your chest. Continue here for one more breath. Make sure that your toe tips and kneecaps face the ceiling. And then walk your hands forward to support the weight of your upper body. Continue to hinge forward, rocking the pelvis over the thighs, but seeing that both sides of your spine stay long and your back doesn't over-round. As you walk the arms forward, some of you will be able to bring your forearms to the floor. Others will have the hands on the ground and be more upright. What's essential isn't your flexibility. That will come with persistent practice. But what's really essential now is that you stay integrated, you stay focused, and you balance effort with relaxation. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply, drawing the in-breath down into the bottom ribs, also being aware of whatever restriction is present and mentally releasing it. Take one more slow breath. Let that breath seep into the belly, the bottom ribs, the lower back, and then use your hands to help yourself walk back up to vertical. Pause for a moment and feel the effect of the pose. Bring the bottom of your feet together. Extend both legs straight forward, and then bend your right knee deeply and draw your right heel towards your sitting bone. Wrap your left arm around the front of the knee. Take your right hand behind you, lengthen up through the spine, and gently twist into Marichyasana III. Ensure that the lower back is not rounded towards the floor behind you, but long and drawn slightly forward into its natural curvature. If this is hard to achieve, sit on a folded blanket. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee to deepen your twist. Draw up through the left side of your back. Gently broaden the right side of your chest and turn your head and neck mildly to gaze towards your right shoulder. Firm your straight leg, rotate that bottom thigh bone in, and draw your shoulder blades down your back. Take one more in-breath, wringing tension out of the spine, out of the organs. Exhale, release back to center, and extend your right leg forward. Bend your left knee, bring the heel as close to the left hip and sitting bone as possible, and wrap your right arm around your left knee. Press your left fingertips firmly into the floor, draw up through the abdominal muscles, the lower back, and the chest, and then spiral the spine to the left, gazing very gently towards the left shoulder. And as you breathe, direct the breath into the bottom ribs. Elongate your right leg, turn your right thigh bone in. Create a little bit more lift to your chest, more rotation to that left collarbone. Then one last inhalation, breathing down into the kidney area. One more deep inhalation, breathing down into your bottom ribs. Exhale, release back to center, and sit with the legs crossed. Either shin in front is fine. Place your hands on your thighs, sit towards the front of your sitting bones, and elongate both sides of your waist. Allow the temples, the forehead, the eyes, and the jaws to relax and release any vestige of tension. Practice observing the sensations of your body and breath and the state of your mind after your practice. Take a moment or two, let the eyes fall all the way closed, and look within. There are very few opportunities that we take to gear down, to become quiet, and to listen within. Take this moment of 3 breaths to simply focus the attention on the present moment. Keeping the eyes relaxed, keeping the temples easy. Let the eyes slowly open. Take your hands alongside of you and lie on your back, reclining in Shavasana. It's essential in Shavasana for the body to be well aligned so that the nervous system in the body can let go. Start with the knees bent, bottom of the feet to the floor. Lift the hips just a tiny bit, and with your thumbs, tuck the buttock away from your lower back towards your heels. Then relower the buttock, straighten each leg one at a time, and separate the heels as wide as your mat. Step your arms 45 degrees away from your body, palms up, and let the shoulders, the arms, and the back of the hands release into the floor. Allow the eyes to fall closed, the temples to relax, and the mind to become quiet. In the active practice, you engaged, you lifted, you lengthened, you strengthened the entire body. Now, starting from the legs and proceeding up, allow everything to release. Allow the outer thighs and the back of the legs to sink heavily into the ground, as if you had weight on top of your thighs. As you allow the thigh bones to sink, feel as if the hip joints broaden and that any tension inside the pelvic muscles or organs releases. Allow your breath to continue to soften and release any tension in the abdomen, in the diaphragm. Let go of all holding in the heart, all holding in the lungs, all holding in the mind. Release tension from your chest and shoulders and let the arm bones sink heavily into the ground. Give yourself permission to let go of everything, keeping your mind tuned to the subtle sensations of your body as you drift into relaxation and mental reflection. In the next minute of silence, absorb the effects of your practice and continue to let go. Bring your awareness to your breath. Bring your awareness to your body's relaxation, and bring your awareness to your mental state. Yoga is a practice of self-study, so take a moment to look within. Take a slightly deeper cycle of breath, and as you exhale, hug the right knee into the chest, then the left knee into the chest, and allow your eyes to open. Roll over to your right side and pause there for a moment in transition. Roll all the way into your hands. Use the arms to sit up and sit with the legs crossed. Fold the palms, thumbs together, thumbs resting on the heart center. Relax the eyes, relax the mind, but feel the spaciousness within you. All yoga practices are completed with a gesture of offering and a bowing forward. The word used is namaste, which means the spirit in me bows to the spirit in you. Namaste. This relaxing sequence will help you increase your flexibility while retaining a calm state of mind. To begin, lie on your back in Shavasana and have a belt nearby. Separate your legs as wide as your sticky mat. Take your arms 45 degrees away from your body, palms up, and close your eyes. Allowing your body, mind, and nerves to rest is essential to your health and wellness. So give yourself permission to let go and tune your awareness to the subtle sensations of your body and breath. Set aside daily thoughts and tune your attention to your legs releasing into the ground, to the arms dropping into the sticky mat. Feel a sense of quiet and calm. Gently bend your right knee into your chest. Take your belt, lasso it around the arch of your right foot, and slowly extend your top leg up towards the ceiling. Use enough belt that you can straighten the top knee without struggling. Practice finding a balance between effort and relaxation by gently lengthening through your right hamstrings and calves, while softening the jaw, relaxing the eyes, and deepening the breath. Continue just a little bit longer, and as you open the right leg and you feel the reach of the bottom leg and arms, keep a soft internal releasing state. Take one more deep inhalation. Then as you exhale, release the right leg, straighten it on the sticky mat, and draw your left knee into your chest. Pause for a moment, lasso your left arch, and extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Create a combination of effort and relaxation by elongating the top leg up until your hamstrings are at their maximum stretch without overdoing and getting into a tug of war. Take 3 slow, calming breaths and learn to slow your breath and deepen your breath as you come into restriction in your body. Take one more slow, deep inhalation. Then as you exhale, release your belt, bend your left knee, and place both feet on your sticky mat. Roll to your right side, roll into your hands, and use your arms to sit up nice and slowly. Sit cross-legged on your sticky mat, cross your right shin in front of your left shin, and step your shin bones forward until they're parallel with the front edge of your mat. Rotate your pelvis forward over your thighs, walk your hands in front of you, and spill your torso into your legs. Focus on keeping the spine long without becoming rigid. As you sense whatever restriction is present in your lower back, in your hips, and in your groins, rather than fighting with that resistance, breathe into it. Feel as if you're slowly and deeply untangling whatever knots exist inside the body. Observe the sensation of your breath. Observe the sensation of your hips as they unravel, and allow the head and neck to soften and let go. Place your hands underneath the front of your shoulders, press the hands down, and slowly roll all the way up to sitting. Gaze forward with relaxed eyes. Now cross the left shin in front of the right shin. Rock the pelvis forward and walk your hands forward into a fold. Again, focus on keeping your spine elongated without becoming rigid or unnecessarily tense in your body. As you observe any tightness in your hips, relax your face, relax your jaw, relax any judgment of your body, and simply breathe into whatever binding is present. Press your hands underneath your shoulders, slowly roll up to sitting, and gaze forward, soft temples, soft eyes. Practice a simple twist by taking your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind you. Elongate up through the trunk, and then just take a simple, easy twist to your right. Focus on drawing the inhalations down into your body and feel the sense of unraveling and reducing tension in your back. As the breath seeps into the back body and the spinal muscles begin to release, firm the shoulder blades against the back and turn the chest just a touch more. One more long, slow, calming in-breath. Then exhale, release back to center. Cross your right shin in front of your left shin and take the second side by placing your right hand on your left knee and supporting your back with your left fingertips on the floor behind you. Gently draw up and turn to your left. As you rotate the belly, ribs, and chest, feel the body wring out any tension that's present in the torso. Soften the breath, relax the eyes, and simply practice focusing on the sensation of your body. Inhale one more time. Exhale, release back to center. Place the fingertips behind you and extend your legs wide out to the side in Upavishta Konasana. With the fingertips pressed down behind you, lengthen up through your waist and stretch out through your heels. Root down through the back of your legs and lengthen up through your trunk. Walk your hands forward, rock the hips over the thighs, and keeping your back elongated, come forward into a gentle forward bend, just enough to awaken and stretch your inner legs. Observe whatever restriction, whatever obstacle, whatever tension is in your body, and rather than fighting with it or judging it, practice breathing into it. And as you take 2 more cycles of breath, don't worry about your flexibility. Simply work to your edge and focus on letting go of unnecessary restriction in your body. Learn to be attentive, patient, and focused in the midst of a challenge. Press your hands down and slowly lengthen your spine back up to vertical. Pause for a moment and take a deep, calm breath. Now, fold the bottom of your feet together. Extend your legs forward and lengthen through your heels. Bend your right knee and draw your heel bone back towards your sitting bone. Then for another nice calming twist, wrap your left arm around your right knee Place your right fingertips behind you. Elongate up through the spine. Take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and turn to your right. Observe whatever restriction or holding is in the spine. Breathe into it with soft, smooth, deep breath. Continuing to lengthen up through the spine, draw your shoulder blades down. Let the chest, the heart, the lungs rise up and gaze gently towards your right shoulder. Relax your eyes and take one more calming inhalation. As you exhale, release and face forward. Take your second side by straightening your right knee, bending your left knee, and drawing your heel towards your sitting bone. Wrap your right arm around your left knee, left fingertips behind you, and lengthen up through your trunk. Slide the right elbow to the outside of the left knee and deepen the twist by turning, but see again that you're just finding a balance between effort and relaxation. We want to coax the body into opening rather than forcing it to comply. Feel the sensations of your body, feel the sensations of your breath, and observe the mind state. Practice letting go of mental chatter and feel the sensations of your body as you twist. As you exhale, come back to center and bring the bottom of your feet together. Pause for a moment, press the fingertips down behind you, lengthen up through your trunk. Extend your right leg forward, slide your left foot to the inside of your right thigh, and draw the heel bone back towards the groin. Inhale, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, walk forward with your hands and hold on to your right foot. If you're not able to hold on to your right foot without straining your hamstring or over-rounding your spine, simply take a strap and wrap it around the arch of the foot. Remember, being skillful and attentive to the needs of your body is much more important than stretching your hamstrings. Root down through the back of your right thigh, reach forward through your right heel, and spread your toes. Feel the length of your back body and breathe into your bottom ribs. Continuing to breathe slowly, smoothly, and calmly, lengthen the crown of the skull forward and deepen your right hip crease. Root down through the right thigh. Inhale, rise all the way up to sitting vertically. Bring the bottom of the feet together and switch sides by extending the left leg forward. Right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Draw the heel back towards its own groin. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, hinge forward, hold the foot, or grab your belt. Focus on the integrity of your back's length and the smoothness of your breath. As you continue to practice, your body will become more supple, but it's essential that you're patient with the body. Breathe slowly and smoothly into your bottom ribs. Calm the mind, soften the temples, and practice sensing and feeling your body. Root down through the back of your straight leg, lengthen your spine, and inhale, come back up to sitting vertical. Pause, hands behind you, fingertips on the floor, and take a calming breath. Now, swing your legs to the side and step back into downward facing dog. In down dog, use your arms and legs to elongate thoroughly through your entire body. Observe the combination of effort as you reach through your limbs and relaxation as you keep your breath, mind, and facial muscles soft. Allow the head and neck to drop below the arms, allow the eyes to close, and allow the mind to quiet. Take one more in-breath, using your legs to draw you back. As you exhale, bring your knees to the floor and sit back in child's pose, bringing your sitting bones to your heels. Release the forearms and the head to the ground, and exhale through your mouth to release any vestige of pressure that has been built up inside your body or mind. Take shelter in the pose and appreciate this rare state of quiet. Place your hands underneath the front of your shoulders, root down through them, and then slowly rise up to sitting. Continue to sit on your heels, or if this isn't comfortable, sit with simple cross legs. Interlace your fingers and extend your arms up overhead to open and lengthen your shoulders. Practice lifting the outer arms, but softening the base of the neck and drawing the shoulder blades down. Again, feel the combination of effort through the limbs, but quiet through the mind, relaxation in your sensory organs, especially the eyes, the tongue, the ears. As you exhale, release your arms. Swing your right elbow on top of your left elbow and intertwine your arms. If this intertwining is too demanding, simply hold the outer elbows. Inhale, lift the elbows a little bit higher. Exhale, draw the elbows down, tuck the chin, and take one breath, expanding, releasing any tension in the neck. Inhale, slowly relift your chest. Separate your elbows and take the second side. Same modification as the first side if need be. Inhale, lift your elbows slightly higher. Exhale, draw your elbows down, drop your chin, expand your back. One more deep in-breath into the back of your lungs. Then as you exhale, slowly sit back up. Release the arms and fold the palms into your lap. Hands on your knees or hands on your thighs. Allow yourself to recline in Shavasana. Take your legs as wide as your sticky mat, arms away from your body, palms up. Let the eyes fall closed, let the mouth relax, and bring your attention more and more deeply into the subtle feeling of your body. Bring your awareness to your exhalations. Allow that exhalation to continue to get finer and softer and quieter. Set aside daily thoughts that come in. Allow your body to melt into the ground, and keep your attention on the exhalation as it releases from inside. Spend 3 to 10 minutes in Shavasana, allowing your body to drop deeply into the floor, allowing your exhalation to release, and asking your mind to be patient and attentive. As daily thoughts, plans, or judgments arise, practice setting them aside and focusing the mind inward. Observe the state of relaxation and attention with absolutely no rigidity or internal pressure. When you're ready, simply roll to your right side, pause, then use your arms to come up to sitting and feel the benefits of your practice. Namaste. The Yoga Encyclopedia is an essential reference tool that will help you develop a safe, effective, and knowledgeable yoga practice. The 30 postures included will form the foundation of your yoga practice, providing you with an in-depth understanding of each pose's benefits, alignment, breathing cues, and basic modifications. This encyclopedia is designed to be used in a few ways. First, you can simply watch the encyclopedia before practicing and get a sense of the poses and techniques. Second, you can practice along to the encyclopedia and cultivate a deeper experiential understanding of each pose. When you do this, please note that some of the poses are asymmetrical and only one side is demonstrated. When this is the case, simply pause your DVD and take what you've learned to your second side. Lastly, as you practice the accompanying sequences, you may find that you have questions and need more practice with certain postures. You can always revisit the reference and practice the poses that need greater refinement, or spend more time in any pose that you've come to crave. In order to facilitate and deepen your practice, you'll want to have 3 key props: a blanket, a block, and a belt. If you don't have these tools at home, you can probably find household items to replace them with. You can use a pillow or couch cushions as your blanket. You can use a few books as your block, or you can always use a belt as your yoga strap. Be safe and smart and enjoy your practice. Adho Mukha Svanasana is a powerful pose for decompressing your spine and creating a feeling of spaciousness throughout your entire body. Finding the appropriate distance between your hands and feet in downward facing dog is essential. Begin face down on your sticky mat and place your fingertips in line with the center of your chest. Press up to all fours and keep your hands and feet where they are. Transition into the pose by tucking your toes under and lifting your hips toward the ceiling. Straighten your knees, draw your thighs back, and lift your hips higher. Engage your quadriceps by drawing them up. Complement this by reaching your heels down. Most practitioners' heels don't touch the floor, so don't let your mind or ego get caught up in this detail. With your breath strong and steady, begin refining the pose by bringing your attention to your hands. See that the front of your wrists are parallel to the front of your mat. Spread your fingers and press down through the base of your fingers. Extend strongly through your arms so that your elbows are straight. Gently spiral your elbow creases forward to align your shoulders and broaden the inner border of your shoulder blades. As you reach strongly through your arms, press your thighs back and feel your spine getting longer. Breathe deeply and smoothly as you create length, space, and strength in your entire body. Lower your knees to the floor in order to release the pose. Chaturanga Dandasana and Urdhva Mukha Svanasana are integral parts of sun salutations, so you'll practice them over and over in flow classes. Chaturanga builds arm and core strength, while Up Dog stretches the spine and front body. Both poses require a lot of strength and meticulous alignment. Since Chaturanga and Up Dog are such challenging poses, it's very hard to hold them long enough to refine your skill. To overcome the challenge of holding these poses, you're going to repeat these poses. The first time you will bring your knees to the floor and practice a modified version of Chaturanga. The second time you will practice the full pose by keeping your legs straight. Continue practicing the first version until you feel strong enough to work on the full, straight-legged version. To begin, start in downward facing dog. Rock forward to plank pose and lower your knees to the floor. Bend your elbows, hugging them into your sides, and lower your chest forward and down until your upper arms are parallel to the floor. Keep your pelvis, torso, shoulders, and head in one plane. Engage your shoulder blades against your back and draw your shoulders away from your ears. Transition to upward facing dog by straightening your elbows, lifting your chest until your shoulders stack directly over your wrists, and lowering your hips. Press the top of your feet into the floor, lift your thighs, and draw up through your chest. Press the base of your fingers into the floor, broaden your collarbones, and firm your shoulder blades against your back. Draw back into downward facing dog, and take 2 slow, deep breaths before repeating the pose with straight legs. Rock forward to plank pose and keep your legs straight. In addition to the work of your arms, focus on engaging your thighs and abdominal muscles. Inhale, press back through your heels and draw forward through your crown and chest. Exhale, Bend your elbows and lower halfway to the floor. Shoulders, elbows, torso, pelvis, and legs in the same plane. Inhale, shift into upward facing dog by straightening your elbows, aligning your arms so that they are vertical, and lifting your chest. Continue to work your thighs and engage your abs. Take one more inhalation in upward facing dog. Then exhale, shift back into downward facing dog and feel the sensations of your entire body. Bring your knees to the floor and release into child's pose for a moment of rest. Plank pose is an essential element in sun salutations that builds strength and integration in the upper body, abdomen, and legs. As you practice it, engage these areas of your body simultaneously to help keep your hips and legs from collapsing. Begin in downward facing dog. Rock forward until your shoulders are directly above your wrists and your forearms are vertical. Your entire body should resemble a plank of wood. Spread your fingers wide apart, root down through the base of your fingers, and press the floor away from you. Rotate your elbow creases toward your thumbs and lift the back of your heart to broaden the inner border of your shoulder blades. Now, draw your navel toward your spine and lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. Notice how this prevents your lower back from collapsing and keeps your ribs and pelvis integrated. Firm the front of your thighs strongly to support the weight of your pelvis. Keep your head in the same plane as the rest of your body. Don't let it drop. Feel this intensity and breathe smoothly. To release the pose, slowly lower your knees to the floor and rest in child's pose. Utkatasana conditions the legs, back, and arms. It provides an opportunity to stay calm and breathe deeply during a challenging moment, and to observe the relationship between your hips and lower back. Begin in Tadasana with the base of your big toes touching and your outer feet parallel. Place your hands on your hips, bend your knees, and lower your hips as if you're sinking down into a chair. Keep both of your knees facing straight forward. Root down through your heels and lower further still until you are at a maximum without strain. You should feel your thighs engage intensely. Notice how your pelvis tilts forward, your tailbone lifts, and your lower back arches. Balance this tilt by lengthening your tailbone down and drawing up through your hip points and lower abdomen. This will create length in your lower back and will enable you to lift your chest. If your lower back still feels compressed, lift up out of the pose slightly and tuck your tailbone more strongly. From here, fold your palms together. Firm your shoulder blades against your back, broaden your collarbones, and lift your breastbone. Tap into the strength of your breath and reach your arms strongly overhead, shoulder width apart, palm facing each other. Cultivate a feeling of fortitude as you lengthen up through the outer ribs, through the armpits, and into the elbows and fingers. Relax your jaw and soften your eyes. To come out, straighten your legs and release your arms by your sides. Take a slow, deep breath. Utthita Konasana stretches the entire side body, opens the inner thighs, and strengthens the legs. To begin, bring your hands to your hips, step your feet wide apart, and turn your right foot out. Rotate your back foot slightly inward and align your heels. Bend your front knee so it is directly over your front shin. If you want more sensation in your legs and hips, step your feet further away from each other. With your stride firmly set, bend your right elbow and place your forearm on your right thigh, palm up. Gaze straight forward, extend your left arm overhead, palm facing the floor. Create one integrated line from the outside of your left foot through your left fingers. This is your extended angle. Breathing smoothly and deeply through your nose, observe the degree of sensation in your legs, hips, and torso. If this feels too mild, deepen the pose by placing your right hand on a block. Remember, a bigger pose is not necessarily a better pose. Aim to balance effort and relaxation, and to find a sense of cohesion in your body. Refine the pose by reaching more strongly through your back leg and top arm. Notice if your top ribs are rounded towards the ceiling. Instead, keep both sides of your ribs evenly lengthened. Support your lower back by drawing your navel towards your spine and rotate your chest towards the ceiling, bringing your gaze with you. Enjoy this moment of thorough elongation. Over time, you may be able to bring your hand all the way to the floor without the block in the fullest expression of the pose. From where you are, slowly rise all the way back to vertical, pause, and take the second side of the posture. Utthita Trikonasana is a thorough posture. It creates a feeling of spaciousness in the body and builds strength. As your body expands out in many different directions, you must also learn to keep it integrated and stable. Begin triangle pose by finding your stride. Bring your hands to your hips, step your feet wide apart, and turn your right foot out. Turn your back foot slightly in and align your heels with each other. Gently engage both of your thighs. Keeping your hands on your pelvis so that you're sensitive to its movement, hinge at your right hip crease and bring your right hip bone towards your right thigh bone. Be sure that you're hinging from your hips rather than your waist. Lower your bottom hand to a block. Observe the degree of sensation in your front leg and determine which block height is going to give you a challenge without creating strain. Shift your attention to your ribs and elongate both sides evenly. Lengthen through your spine and spread your breath throughout your body. Root down through your bottom arm and reach your top arm strongly towards the ceiling. Spread your collarbones and open the front of your heart and lungs. Gently rotate your abdomen and ribs towards the ceiling. Gaze straight forward with relaxed eyes. A common mistake is to let your torso swing forward and the hips swing back. Instead, see that your torso, hips, legs, and feet are in the same plane. Over time, you may be able to bring your bottom hand to the floor and turn your gaze up towards the ceiling. But for now, from where you are, breathe in feeling both expansive and steady. Using an inhalation, press through your legs and lift up to standing. Pause for a moment with your feet parallel before taking your second side. Practicing Ardha Chandrasana will teach you to lift, expand, and stretch your entire body while you navigate subtle shifts in your balance. It is the perfect pose to reconnect to a feeling of spaciousness, freedom, and agility in your body. Come into Warrior Two on your right side and place a block behind your right ankle. Place your right hand on the block and your left hand on your left hip. Step your back foot forward towards your front foot and shift your block 6 to 12 inches forward. Lean forward and simultaneously lift your left leg as you straighten your standing leg. To help facilitate balance, gaze towards your front big toe. Keep your eyes still and root down through the base of this toe. Energize your standing leg so that the thigh is firm and the hamstrings are stretching. Gently roll your left hip open so that it is stacked on top of your right hip. Lengthen through both sides of your rib cage evenly, turn your chest, and extend your top arm toward the ceiling. To help with your balance, lightly draw your navel towards your spine and lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. Breathe smoothly and deeply as you expand through all of your limbs, recreating a feeling of spaciousness and expansion within. Over time, you may be able to bring your hand all the way to the floor without the block in the fullest expression of the pose. Practice staying present, focused, and calm, even if the pose is challenging for you. Slowly bend your front knee and lower your back foot to the floor. Pause for a moment and feel both of your feet on the ground. Root down through both feet, come up to standing, and pause for a moment before reversing and taking your second side. Tadasana is a foundational pose in yoga. It teaches you to align your spine and to balance your weight evenly from front to back and side to side. Its simple shape enables you to begin drawing your awareness inside. Begin by placing the base of your big toes together and aligning the outside of your feet so that they are parallel. Gently engage the muscles of your legs as if they are hugging the bones. Then bring your awareness to your hips. To help find your neutral pelvis, we'll exaggerate two common imbalances. Place your hands on your hips and tilt your pelvis forward until your tailbone lifts and the arch of your back increases. Now, tilt your pelvis the opposite direction by rocking your hips back and tucking your tailbone under until your thighs jut forward and your chest collapses. To find neutral, draw your thigh bones slightly back and lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Lift your hip points and gently engage your lower abdominal muscles. You will repeat these pelvic movements in many of your poses. Release your arms alongside your body. Elongate up through your spine and abdominal region. Lift your chest and broaden the front of your collarbones. Imagine that your lungs are filled with helium and continue to float the chest upward and expand it outward. Support this internal height by moderately engaging your shoulder blades against the back of your ribs. With your chin parallel to the horizon, place your skull directly over the center of your spine. Soften and relax your eyes, ears, and jaw while you continue to draw your attention inward. Take a deep breath and feel the stable column of your entire body. Parivrtta Trikonasana is a complex and demanding standing pose that will stretch your legs, open your hips, and provide your spine with a deep twist. Make sure to support your bottom hand on a block or on your shin to help you stay balanced and stable. To begin, stand with your feet parallel and wide apart. Place your hands on your hips. Turn your right foot out and rotate your back foot in at a strong angle, about 45 degrees. Align your heels and bring your attention to your legs and hips. Spiral your back thigh in and rotate your back hip until both hips face forward. Take a deep breath in and reach your left arm toward the ceiling. Exhale and hinge forward at your hips, placing your left hand on a block inside your front foot. Inhale and lengthen your torso. Exhale and rotate your abdomen, ribs, and shoulders to the right as you extend your right arm toward the ceiling. Keep your head neutral by either gazing down at the floor or toward the wall to your right. Bring your awareness to your back thigh. Lengthen through the leg and root down into the floor through the four corners of your back foot. Spiral the leg inward and continue to rotate your back hip point toward your midline. Root downward into the base of your front big toe and squeeze your right outer hip in. Now that your legs are steady and your hips neutral, lengthen the left side of your back and turn your chest more thoroughly. To come out, release the twist and bring your top hand down. Root down into both feet and come up to standing, keeping your back long. Pause for a moment, then take your second side. Uttanasana is one of the best postures for unraveling tension along the entire back body, particularly the hamstrings and calves, which tend to feel restricted in new practitioners. practice reserving judgment about your flexibility and tune your awareness to releasing the restrictions from your body. Begin the posture with your feet hip-width apart and parallel. As you continue in your practice, you may bring your feet closer together, but this width will provide you with greater stability as you learn the pose. Place your hands on your hips and firm your thighs. Fold over your legs and release into the pose. Once your pelvis has stopped rocking forward and you've awakened your hamstrings, place your hands on your shins, ankles, or the floor. Your hands should help support the opening of your back body, so don't allow your arms to simply hang in free space. If this feels intense, or if you have a history of lower back challenges, bend your knees until you feel more ease and comfort in the pose. It's important to keep your spine long in this pose, so resist the temptation to round forward too substantially. Now, refine the posture by bringing your awareness to your feet. Shift your weight so that it is evenly distributed between the balls of your feet and the front of your heels. Draw up through your thighs, roll your sitting bones towards the ceiling, and gently engage your lower abdominal muscles. Lengthen and release your spine as you relax your neck, jaw, and mind. Breathe smoothly as if you are saturating the back of your legs with your breath. To release the pose, place your hands on your hips, lengthen your tailbone towards the floor, and come up to standing with your spine long. Vrksasana introduces the element of balance into your yoga practice, but don't be surprised if it invokes a state of imbalance, and don't be concerned about falling out of the pose. Just practice beginning again without judging yourself. You can also support yourself by using a wall until your posture strengthens and stabilizes. Begin in Tadasana. Bend your right knee, grasp your right shin as close to your ankle as possible, and place your right foot on your inner left thigh. Place both hands on your hips. Elongate through your standing leg and firmly squeeze your right foot and left thigh together. If you're unable to lift your foot all the way onto your thigh, simply bring your foot to your ankle. With your foot pressing firmly into your standing leg, align both of your hip points so that they are facing straight forward. As you do this, gently draw your right knee back. Fold your palms together so that your thumbs touch your heart. Firm your shoulder blades into your back in order to lift and broaden your chest. Inhale, lengthen your torso, and reach your arms up, shoulder width apart. Invigorate your arms, straighten your elbows, and turn your palms to face each other. In order to help you balance, softly gaze toward a fixed point in front of you. If you notice that you are holding your breath and becoming rigid, practice releasing this unnecessary tension. Soften your eyes and jaw while you deepen your breath. Slowly lower your arms and right leg in order to release the pose. Now, take your second side. Virabhadrasana 1 opens and strengthens the legs, creates space in the spine, and tones the arms. Though challenging, this pose builds strength and confidence. Take a wide stance, rotate your right foot out, and place your hands on your hips. Turn your back foot in 25 to 45 degrees and align your heels. Notice how your back foot is turned in more here than it was in Warrior 2, Triangle Pose, and Side Angle Pose. Bend your front shin so that it is directly above your ankle and your shin bone is vertical. Take a moment to feel the stretch in your inner thighs, groins, and hips. If the sensation is too mild, step your feet further apart. As you do this, make sure that you keep your front shin vertical. Now that your stride is a challenging yet sustainable width, rotate your hips toward your front foot. Very few people will be able to completely square the hips towards the front leg. So, instead of forcing the movement, simply rotate your hips forward until they stop. Create more space in your lower back by lengthening upward through the front of your hips, navel, and spine. Draw your tailbone down and reach your arms strongly towards the ceiling, elongating your torso. Keep your arms shoulder width apart and focus on straightening your elbows completely. Breathe deeply as you further energize your back leg, spine, and arms. Drop your front thigh more deeply into the pose for one last breath. Now, slowly straighten your front leg, release your arms, and prepare for your second side. Virabhadrasana II builds stamina, it strengthens the arms, legs, and spine, and it cultivates flexibility in the groins. The most essential element when you begin Warrior II is to create a stride that fits your body correctly. To begin, bring your hands to your hips, step your feet wide apart, and turn your right foot out. Turn your back foot slightly inward and align your heels with each other. Bend your front knee so that it is directly above your ankle. See that your shin is vertical. Take a moment to feel the degree of sensation in your inner thighs and hips. If you want a deeper stretch, simply step your back foot further away. As you do this, make sure that you keep your front shin vertical. When the degree of sensation is just right, that sweet spot where you're entering a challenge but not straining, you'll know that your feet are perfectly spaced for now. Now that your stride is set, it's time to make some refinements. Engage your back leg more strongly, align your front knee so that it points towards your second and third toe, and gently rotate your hips away from your front thigh. Create a neutral pelvis by lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your hip points up, and engaging your lower abdominal muscles. Keep both of your hips level, lengthen your spine, and broaden your chest. Bring your awareness to your arms, vigorously extend them away from each other, and gaze towards your right fingers. Broaden your shoulder blades and lengthen through your outer arms. Keep your arms aligned with each other and feel the integration of your upper body. Keep your eyes relaxed and breathe smoothly. Feel the quiet strength of your entire body. Slowly straighten your front leg, turn your feet parallel, release your arms, and take your second side. Prasarita Uttanasana releases tension in the back body as it lengthens the hamstrings and inner thigh muscles. By separating your feet wider apart, you will be able to fold more deeply into a forward bend than you would in Uttanasana. Take a wide stance, turn your feet parallel, and place your hands on your hips. Inhale, reach down through your legs, hugging your thigh muscles to the bones, and draw up through the front of the spine. Exhale, fold forward from your hips and release your torso into a forward bend. Take your hands to the floor underneath your shoulders for support. The true skill of a yoga practitioner is to take a pose's objective parameters and make subtle adjustments until the pose fits your body. To do this, observe the degree of sensation in your legs. If the sensation is mild, walk your hands back between your legs, bend your elbows, and release your torso more deeply. If the sensation is too intense, place your hands on blocks. As you find the appropriate intensity for your body, refine all of your movements. If your elbows are bent, hug them towards each other as you draw your shoulders up away from your ears and press your shoulder blades onto your back. Balance your weight between the front of your heels and the balls of your feet. Draw up through your thigh muscles and roll your sitting bones towards the ceiling. As you do this, allow your spine to release with gravity. Breathe into your belly, lower ribs and sides. Lastly, relax your neck, soften your eyes, and release your jaw. To come out of the pose, take your hands to your hips, root down through your feet, and rise up to standing. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana is a deep yet accessible back bend that stretches the chest, neck, thighs, and spine. Practice rooting down through your feet and arms in the pose to create greater depth in your spine, but be careful not to flatten your neck into the floor. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Initiate the pose by gently pressing your lower back down so that your tailbone curls slightly up. Root through your feet and begin to peel your hips away from the floor. Mindfully roll up, vertebra by vertebra, and keep your tailbone reaching toward the back of your knees. Focus on keeping your lower back long, distributing the arch evenly along your entire spine. Tuck your shoulders underneath your chest. Hold the outer edges of your sticky mat, or interlace your fingers and burrow downward into the mat with your arms. Breathe slowly and deeply into your abdomen. Lengthen your tailbone and your lower back as you shift your attention to your legs. Align your thighs so that they are parallel to each other and position your knees directly over your ankles. Your shins should be vertical. Root down through the base of your big toes and float your pelvis just a touch higher. Expand your chest, heart, and lungs as your breath saturates your front body. Practice deepening your pose without losing the integrity of your alignment or sacrificing the comfort of your lower back and knees. Take one more expansive inhalation, then exhale slowly and lower yourself down to the floor. Observe the sensations of your body and breath as you take a moment of stillness. When you build a well-aligned Bhujangasana, you build your foundation for all other back bends. The pose strengthens and tones the arms, back, and shoulders, opens the chest and expands the lungs, and it stretches your spine. Lie face down in your sticky mat and establish the foundation of your pose. Place your hands in line with the center of your chest and spread your fingers wide apart. Press down through the top of your feet, anchor your pubic bone into the mat, and draw your tailbone toward your heels. Now that your foundation is set, engage your shoulder blades against your back and lift your chest away from the floor without using your arms. Take a smooth cycle of breath. Now, deepen your pose by pressing your hands into the floor, hugging your elbows against your sides, and partially straightening your arms. Lift your breastbone higher and observe your spine. Ideally, your lower, mid, and upper back will have a similar degree of sensation and curvature. If you feel any sharp, painful sensations along your spine, lower down a bit. If not, continue to straighten your arms as you root your pubic bone and lengthen your legs. Expand your chest. Once you've come up to your maximum without strain, focus on your breath. Imagine that you have gills in your lower back and that your breath is creating space and release in this region. Slowly lower down to the floor, keeping your elbows pressed against your outer ribs and your shoulder blades drawn away from your ears. Cross your forearms and rest your forehead on them. Salabhasana will strengthen the muscles of your arms, legs, buttocks, and spine as you lift up against gravity's resistance. Don't worry about how high you go. Instead, focus on creating an even degree of sensation from the back of your legs through your lower, mid, and upper back. To begin, lie face down. Set your feet hip-width apart and rest your arms along your sides, palms up. Find the neutral pelvis that you had in Tadasana by rooting your pubic bone into the mat and lengthening your tailbone toward your heels. These movements will keep your lower back long and broad as you lift up. As you inhale, peel your chest, shoulders, arms, and hands away from the floor. Lengthen the back of your neck, lift your head so that it is in line with the spine, and gaze down. Rotate the arm bones so the thumb tips face the floor. Now, lift your legs up so that the only parts of your body contacting the floor are your pelvis, abdomen, and bottom ribs. Keep breathing as you deepen the pose. Lengthen your legs and rotate the front of your thighs towards each other. Draw your chest forward, broaden your collarbones, and draw your shoulder blades away from your ears. Observe the sensations in your lower, mid, and upper back. If your spine feels at all compressed, lower your legs and your chest just a touch. If your back feels strong and integrated, lift your front body further away from the floor. Relax your eyes, forehead, and jaw. Now that you've been in the pose for several breaths, slowly lower to the floor and observe the sensations of your back. This mild twist will open your hips and release tension in your spine. The simple shape of the pose gives you the opportunity to learn the fundamentals of sitting with a neutral pelvis, as well as the essential elements of twisting. A healthy seated twist begins with a neutral pelvis. To achieve this, sit cross-legged with your right shin in front of your left shin. If your hips are tight, or if your knees are significantly higher than your pelvis, sit up on a few folded blankets. Feel the contact of your sitting bones against the blanket and rock your pelvis slightly forward until your lower back is vertical, rather than slumped backwards. If you are not able to do this with ease, you should sit on more blankets. Now that your pelvis is neutral, move your shins slightly forward so that they are parallel to the front edge of your mat. Press your fingertips into the folded blanket next to your hips and lengthen your spine up. Maintaining your long spine in your neutral pelvis, exhale and rotate your abdomen, ribs, and chest to the right. Place your left hand on your right knee and use your arm as leverage to help you rotate. Imagine a spiral staircase running from the center of your pelvis up to the crown of your head. Turn your head, shoulders, ribs, and belly with the same degree of intensity and rotation along that staircase. Breathe smoothly and rhythmically as you elongate your spine. Observe the sensation of gently wringing out tension from your ribs, abdomen, and back. Use a long, calming exhalation to rotate your torso back to neutral. Cross your left shin in front of your right shin and prepare for your second side. Ardha Matsyendrasana is a seated twist that will stretch your outer hips, release tension from your spine, and open your shoulders. Remember that keeping your spine long is just as important as how far you can rotate. Begin by sitting on the front edge of a folded blanket with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Slide your left heel in front of your right sitting bone and align your right thigh so that your knee faces forward. Step your right foot over your left knee and place it on the floor. Make sure that you're sitting high enough that your pelvis is neutral, with your lower back upright or slightly concave rather than rounded back. Now, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling and thoroughly elongate your spine as you lift your back ribs and broaden your chest. Initiate your twist by wrapping your left arm around the front of your right knee and spiraling your torso clockwise. Place your right fingertips behind you on the blanket, to help support the length of your spine. Inhale, engage your abdominal muscles and draw upward from your navel to the top of your chest. Exhale, lift your lower back more strongly and turn your spine until you feel a deep rotation. Continue to deepen the pose by sliding your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Press the elbow gently against your outer knee to rotate your shoulders further. Refine your posture by drawing the outside of your right hip crease towards the floor. Relift the left side of your lower back and broaden your chest. Observe the sensations of your breath as you slide your shoulder blades down away from your ears. Gaze over your right shoulder with soft, relaxed eyes. Use a deep, relaxing exhalation to release the posture. Pause, then take the other side. Marichyasana III is a deep, intense twist that opens the spine and strengthens the abdominals. It's essential to keep your pelvis neutral and your spine long in all twists. To facilitate this, prepare for Marichyasana III by sitting on the front edge of a folded blanket. Extend your left leg forward. Bend your right knee deeply and set your heel as close to your right sitting bone as possible. Take your hands to your right knee and lengthen your spine so that your back feels light and your chest is lifted. If your pelvis is tilted backward and it's hard to achieve this length, simply sit on more blankets. Now, wrap your left arm around the front of your right knee and twist your belly, ribs, and chest to the right. Support the lift of your spine by pressing your right fingertips into the folded blanket behind your hips. Deepen the pose by lifting your lower back further up away from the floor and twisting your entire rib cage even more. To enhance this work, see that the left knee is facing straight up towards the ceiling, then press the left leg and right foot into the ground. You may notice that it's challenging to breathe in this position because your diaphragm is compressed. Without trying to change anything, just continue to breathe and wait for the pose to unfold. If and when you feel like greater intensity is appropriate, slide your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Gently press the elbow into the knee, lift your chest, and rotate your shoulders into a deeper twist. Draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears and bring your chin parallel to the floor. Rotate your head and neck gently towards your right shoulder. Breathe slowly and deeply as you release the muscles of your back. Retain the length of your spine and balanced degree of rotation until you release the pose, pause, and practice the other side. Baddha Konasana will stretch your inner thighs and improve circulation in your hips. Allow gravity to release your inner thighs towards the floor over time instead of pushing your knees downward. Begin the pose by sitting on the front edge of a folded blanket. Bend your knees and place the bottom of your feet together. Bring your heels close to your pubic bone so that your legs fold deeply and you feel a light stretch in your inner legs. Press your fingertips into the floor next to your hips and lengthen up from your hips to the crown of your head. If you notice that your pelvis slumps back and your lower back collapses, sit on another blanket. Now, press your heels together and encourage the top of your thighs to release toward the floor. Separate the top edges of your feet like two halves of a book. Gently draw your abdominal muscles towards your spine to support the length of your torso. Initiate the forward bend by rocking your pelvis forward. Keep your spine long and walk your hands in front of you to support the weight of your upper body. Continue releasing into a forward bend until you feel a moderate stretch in the inner thigh and groin. Be sure that you don't compensate for tension in your legs by rounding your back. Once you are in your maximum forward bend without strain, repeat the fundamental actions of the pose. Press your outer heels together, lengthen your inner knees away from your groins, hollow your lower belly, and move your chest forward. Breathe slowly and deeply into places where you feel tension. Relax your facial muscles and jaw as you draw your attention inward. To release the pose, inhale as you slowly lengthen and lift your torso back to vertical. Janu Shirshasana opens the hamstrings, lengthens the spinal muscles, and creates a quiet, reflective mind state. To avoid strain, it is essential that you focus on alignment, integrity, and length in your lower back as you practice. You may need to use a strap in order to forward bend without over-rounding your spine, so have one handy. To begin the pose, sit on a folded blanket and straighten your legs in front of you. As with every other seated pose, it is essential that you are able to sit vertically without struggling. If your lower back is rounded, sit on more blankets. Bend your left knee deeply, turn the leg out, and place your left foot against the inside of your right thigh towards the groin. Inhale deeply, lift up through your spine and hinge forward from your hips. Take hold of your right foot. If your hamstrings won't allow this, wrap a belt around the arch of your foot and hold on to it with both hands. Inhale once again, lengthening your spine. Exhale, fold forward to your maximum without strain. Gently rotate your abdomen and ribs towards your right leg and lengthen through the left side of your waist. Press the back of your right leg and your sitting bone down in order to maximize the stretch and help lengthen your lower back. Finally, tuck your chin slightly and gaze down, keeping your head in line with your spine. Breathe deeply as you feel the back of your body stretching. It's easy to focus on how low you can descend toward the front leg, but don't forego quality and integrity in the quest for a deep pose. Going too far before you're ready can put you at risk for injury. In order to prevent this, continue to focus on your spine's length as you fold forward. Draw your shoulder blades down your back and soften your facial muscles. Even though you may be faced with resistance in your body, take a moment to appreciate the quieting quality of this pose as you turn your gaze and attention inward. To come out of the pose, inhale, re-lengthen, and lift your spine to vertical. Pause, and practice your second side. Konasana is a classic seated forward bend that opens the inner thighs, groins, and hamstrings. Don't be surprised if this pose is challenging. Be patient with your body and, if need be, sit with your back against the wall to keep your spine vertical. Begin by sitting on the front edge of a folded blanket. Place your fingertips on the blanket next to your hips and extend your legs wide apart. Wide may be a relative term, but shoot for a 65-degree angle. Firmly engage your legs, root the back of your thighs into the floor, and stretch from your inner groins through your heels. Make sure that the tips of your toes and your kneecaps face the ceiling. As your legs awaken and lengthen, spread your toes and draw the balls of your feet toward your shins. Be sure that your heels do not lift off the ground, as this will cause your knees to hyperextend. As you stay in the pose for a few more breaths, press your fingertips down into the floor and lift your lower back, ribs, and chest. These movements will decompress your back, facilitate your breath, and prepare your body for a healthier forward bend. If you already feel a moderate stretch, it is best to stay upright. If your body will accommodate more intensity, you can safely proceed into a forward bend. Initiate your forward bend by rocking your pelvis forward and hinging at your hips. Keep your spine long and walk your hands in front of you to support your upper body. Continue to fold forward, staying elongated from your pubic bone to the top of your chest until you are at your maximum stretch without strain. Breathe deeply and feel your whole body extending and lengthening. To release the pose, press the hands into the ground in front of you, inhale, and slowly lift your torso back to vertical. Observe the sensation of your body and take a calming breath. This shoulder opening series will take your shoulders through their complete range of movement, which helps circulation, releases tension, and provides greater comfort in your neck. Prepare by sitting in Virabhadrasana. Kneel on a blanket and sit between your heels on one or two bricks, depending on the flexibility of your thighs and knees. Make sure that your thighs are parallel to each other, the top of your feet are on the floor with your toes pointing straight back, and your heels are as wide as your outer hips. Gently root down through the front of your sitting bones and lengthen up through your entire spine. Inhale as you interlace your fingers and reach your arms toward the ceiling. As you extend your arms, soften the base of your neck and draw the inside of your shoulder blades downward. You don't want your shoulders to hunch toward your ears. Draw your upper arms further back, but make sure that your front ribs don't push forward. Feel the stretch in your arms, outer armpits, and upper back. Relax your jaw and breathe smoothly. Transition to the next pose in the series by releasing your interlace, crossing your right elbow on top of your left elbow, and intertwining your forearms and wrists. If you're unable to intertwine the arms, simply cross the right elbow on top of the left elbow and hold on to your shoulders. Lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders and press your forearms forward. Encourage your shoulder blades to broaden as you breathe deeply into your upper back. Switch arms so that your left elbow is on top of your right elbow. Keeping your breath steady and smooth, lift your elbows, press your forearms forward, and breathe into your upper back. Feel your upper back and shoulders as deeply held tension melts away. Release your arms and transition to the third pose in the sequence. Interlace your fingers behind your back and stretch through your elbows. If you are unable to straighten your elbows without strain, simply separate your hands hip-width apart and hold a belt. Draw your shoulder blades down your back, lengthen through your elbows, and lift your arms. See that your head stays directly above your shoulders and your chin stays parallel to the floor as you open your chest. Breathe into your chest and feel expansive. Now, release the interlace and bend your elbows. Cross your arms behind you and hold on to your opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. If this feels mild, you may be able to fold your palms together behind your back. Remember, the pose that fits your body best without strain will be the most beneficial. Deepen the posture by relifting your chest, broadening your collarbones, and pressing your shoulder blades against your back. Take one more slow, calming breath. Release your arms and feel the subtle sensations of space and ease in your entire shoulder girdle. Child's pose is a soft, soothing posture that gently stretches the back, folds the legs, and provides rest. In addition to being a quieting pose, it is a pose you can take in class when you need rest. To begin, place your shins on the floor with your toes touching. Separate your knees slightly wider than your hips and lower your sitting bones toward your heels. Hinge forward from your pelvis and walk your hands in front of you. Slowly lower your torso all the way to your thighs and rest your forehead on the floor. Place your head on a block or a blanket if it doesn't comfortably come to the ground. Rest your elbows, forearms, and palms on the floor in front of you. Make sure that your neck is comfortable. As you settle in, direct your breath into your lower back and side ribs. Feel the gentle expansion of your back body as you inhale. Feel the subtle release of your body as you exhale. Deepen the pose by allowing your body to sink more deeply into the ground. Observe the fold of your legs, the relaxation of your abdomen, and the release of your arms. Yoga teaches us to open and expand our body, but it also encourages us to turn inward and find a sense of shelter. Appreciate the state of quietude, relaxation, and reflection for one more breath. To lift out of the pose, place your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself upright. Pause for a moment and feel the aftertaste of the pose. Although simple in appearance, Shavasana embodies the complex yogic teachings of surrender, non-attachment, and self-awareness. Be attentive in your setup, since a well-aligned, comfortable posture will provide your nervous system with deeper relaxation. To begin, lie back, bend your knees, and place the bottom of your feet on the floor. Pause for a moment and simply sense your back body as it rests on the ground. Lift your hips slightly, place your thumbs on the top rim of your pelvis and back, and lengthen your buttock toward your heels. Lower your hips to the floor and feel the length of your lower back. Straighten your legs one at a time and separate your feet as wide as your sticky mat. Place your arms 45 degrees from your body, palms up. Close your eyes and set aside your daily thoughts. Focus your attention on the subtle sensation of your body relaxing and dropping into the floor. Begin doing a body scan from the tip of your toes to the crown of your head. Bring your attention into your legs. Release the inner thighs away from each other and let your outer thighs drop toward the floor. Allow your legs to sink into the ground as if your thighs had heavy weights on them. Move your attention up to your pelvis and imagine that your hip bones release away from each other, allowing your pelvic muscles and organs to release any vestige of tension. As you feel this relaxation, release any holding in your abdomen and diaphragm. Allow your breath to become even softer. Let the back of your arms sink into the floor and the muscles of your shoulders relax. Imagine that your heart area is soft, receptive, and free. As your upper body melts into the floor, soften your jaw and temples. Imagine that your brain slightly recedes away from your forehead and nestles into the back of your skull. After 5 to 15 minutes in the pose, slowly awaken your body by moving your fingers and toes. Roll to your right side and pause. Press your hands into the floor and use your arms to press your body up to a comfortable seat. Slowly open your eyes and give yourself a moment to absorb the quieting, calming effects of your practice. Navasana is a demanding posture that will strengthen and tone your thighs, abs, and lower back. As you awaken and strengthen your midsection, practice keeping your jaw soft and your breath smooth. You will practice this pose in 3 phases. If any of the phases becomes inaccessible or creates strain in your lower back, simply repeat the previous phase. Start seated and bend your knees, placing your tiptoes on the floor. Bring your fingertips to the ground behind you for support. Engage your abdominal muscles, lean back onto your fingertips, and lift your feet until your shins are parallel to the floor. Keeping your knees bent, draw your thighs towards your chest and lift your chest toward your thighs, Gently squeeze your inner legs together. Transition to phase 2 by extending your arms forward, parallel to the floor. Continue to work your legs and engage your abs. Draw your shoulder blades down your back and lift your chest. If your posture collapses or your lower back begins to ache, bring your hands to the floor and repeat the first version. If you feel ready for more challenge, straighten your legs so that your body is shaped like a V. Scoop your abdominals in, lengthen your legs to their maximum as you rotate your thighs inward and spread your toes widely. Lastly, lift and broaden your chest as you charge your arms. Take one more deep breath, then slowly bend your knees and release your feet to the floor. Repeat Navasana on your own 3 times for 5 breaths each. Hero pose is a quieting posture that brings circulation to the legs as it stretches your thighs, ankles, and arches. It can serve as a great alternative to cross-legged seated meditation postures if you feel any discomfort in those poses. Many new students find that the degree of knee flexion that Virasana requires is uncomfortable. If that's the case for you, listen to your body and use this prop arrangement to keep the pose safe and effective. Place a folded blanket in the middle of your mat and set a block just behind the fold. As you proceed, if the pose strains your ankles, add another blanket. If the pose is difficult for your knees, add another block. But be willing to listen to your body and modify accordingly. Begin Virasana by kneeling on your blanket. Position your legs so that the top of your ankles are on the back edge of the fold and the top of your feet are on the floor. Your feet should be slightly wider than your hips. From there, slowly lower your hips between your heels and sit on the block. Before refining the pose, check 3 things. First, if you feel any sharp or intense sensation in your knees, or if you can't lower your seat all the way down to the block, you need to sit higher, so add more props. Second, glance down at your feet. It is essential that you are on the top of the feet, not the inside edge of your feet. If your feet are splayed, sit higher and reposition your legs. Third, make sure that your thighs are touching or parallel to each other and that your inner heels are touching your outer hips. Now that your legs are deeply folded and mindfully aligned, bring your attention to your hips. Rock your pelvis slightly forward so that you are perched on the front edge of your sitting bones. Lengthen your tailbone down into the block and bring your lower back into its mild, natural curve. Draw your upper arms into their sockets and gently engage your shoulder blades to lift your chest. Align your head with the rest of your spine and make sure that your chin is not jutting forward. Take a slow, deep inhalation all the way down into your abdomen and bottom ribs. Exhale and focus on the sensation of your breath as it releases. To release the pose, simply lean forward onto all fours and straighten one leg at a time behind you. Supta Padangusthasana is an excellent preparation for forward bends and a healthy antidote to tight hamstrings. As you practice this pose and release tension from the back of your legs, see if you can learn to challenge yourself without getting into a tug-of-war with your lower body. To begin, take hold of a belt, line your back, and straighten both legs. Inhale as you bend your right knee and draw your right thigh toward your chest. Hold the belt with both hands and wrap it around the arch of your right foot. Exhale and extend your leg up toward the ceiling. Keep your elbows straight and make sure that your upper back and head are resting comfortably on the floor. In order to completely stretch your hamstrings, it's important that you completely straighten your top knee. However, it is not important that your top leg is vertical. If your legs are tight, simply move your front thigh away from your upper body. If you are more flexible, move your top thigh toward your upper body to deepen the pose. Once you find the placement of your leg that suits your body, bring your attention to your bottom leg. Lengthen from deep inside your hip all the way through the center of your heel. Ground the back of your thigh toward the floor and gently rotate your thigh bone inward. From there, gently rock the front of your pelvis forward so that your lower back arches mildly away from the floor. This movement is subtle and may require you to move your top leg slightly away from you. Keep your breath steady and continue refining the pose by drawing your upper arms more deeply into their shoulder sockets. Draw the shoulder blades away from your ears and make sure that your arms are not overworking or hunching toward your neck. Release all unnecessary tension from your body as you continue to work your limbs thoroughly. Soften your facial muscles, relax your jaw, and quiet the mind. Take one more slow, smooth, deep breath. As you exhale, release your right leg and prepare for the second side. When you practice yoga, you use the breath to help steady your nerves, focus your attention, and support you in all of your poses. Ujjayi pranayama, known as victorious breath, with its slightly audible sound, deep volume, and consistent rhythm, will support all aspects of your practice. Start by sitting in a comfortable position, either on your shins in Virasana or with crossed legs in Sukhasana. Elongate your spine, place your hands on your knees, and lift your chest. First, tune your awareness to your breath. Take a few moments and simply observe its texture. Is it smooth and consistent, or ragged and inconsistent? Now, as you begin to initiate your Ujjayi breath, think of making your breath longer, smoother, deeper, and slightly audible. Inhale through your nose and draw your breath toward the roof of your mouth. Exhale slowly, open your mouth, and make a soft ha sound. Do this again. Inhale through your nose, drawing your breath towards your palate, and exhale slowly, mouth open, making a ha sound. One more time for now. Inhale slower, smoother, deeper. Exhale, mouth open, and make the ha sound. The aspirant sound of ha is made by slightly restricting the base of your throat. This restriction slows the breath by narrowing the opening and provides an internal sound, or mantra, for the mind to focus on. Now, as you continue, you will keep the same restriction, the same ha sound, on the exhalation, but you will keep your mouth closed. Inhale slowly, exhale, mouth closed, and make a sound. Continue. Inhale, exhale. Now, imagine that you are inhaling through the base of your throat and create the same soft audible sound on the in-breath. Inhale, exhale. Take one more cycle of breath on your own. Now, return to normal breathing. Remember to practice this in all of your active postures.